Full Metal Bracket. No way, today it's Fool's Metal Bracket. In honor of April Fool's Day, we're looking at which teams, players, and coaches fooled us the most in this year's tournament. You know who we're talking about here. Those guys who, instead of cutting down the nets, are hoping America cuts them some slack. To help us anoint the dubious distinctions, we're joined by our Hoops insider from USA Today, Dan Wolken. Dan, we've seen our share of upsets in the tournament this year. Florida Gulf Coast over Georgetown, Harvard over New Mexico, or how about LaSalle over Kansas State? Which team fooled us the most?
Well, I really think it was Gonzaga. I thought that this was the year that they were going to get to a Final Four. Thought the bracket set up well for them. And after coming off that regular season, they just didn't translate it into the NCAA tournament. Struggled in the first round against Southern and then got beat by a very good Wichita State team. But Gonzaga had a great opportunity to go deep in this tournament, and I really thought they were going to do it with the personnel they had. They just didn't get it done.
All right, let's move on to the coaches. Bill Self saw his team collapse against Michigan. Tom Crean stormed off the court after losing to Syracuse. Ben Howland got fired after losing to Minnesota. How about which coach fooled us?
Well, I think it was Steve Alford on a couple different fronts. For one thing, he didn't have his team prepared the right way to play Harvard. Never made any sort of adjustments in the second half, and they just played right into Harvard's game plan in that first round game. Not one of Steve Alford's better coached games. And then after he agrees to a 10-year contract extension with New Mexico, fools the entire college basketball world by then jumping to UCLA. So Steve Alford did it to us not only in the NCAA tournament, but with his career as well.
A double whammy, I would say. Finally, Dan, big players play their best in big games. We all know that. Looking back in the first 5 rounds, which players underwhelmed you so far in the tournament?
Well, I feel bad for Eric Murphy. Had a great career at Florida. Just did not play very well at all in the Elite Eight game against Michigan. Just looked lethargic, looked tired, couldn't make shots. And Florida never was in that game, and Murphy was a big part of the reason why. Yogi Ferrell of Indiana in the Sweet 16, freshman, but did not do a good job getting Indiana into the right offense against that Syracuse zone, and just had way too many problems getting easy looks at the basket. And then Elijah Johnson for Kansas, the last couple minutes of that game against Michigan, just feel awful for him. But you got to make smarter plays than that, and you got to make free throws. You can't turn the ball over, and he just did everything wrong that Kansas couldn't have happen, and they lost that game that they absolutely should have won.
All right, Dan Wolken, great stuff as always. Thanks. How can Wichita State defeat Louisville? Or maybe I should ask, is there any way Wichita State can defeat Louisville? Hear what Brian Scalabrine says in this week's Slice of Scalabrine.